A menacing figure stands with a girl, declaring he broke into the house after hiding. He declares it's not a civilized society anymore, stating the weak are prey. The girl smiles, claiming she'll rely on the strong. The menacing man prepares to strike, asking, "What do you want to do?" With a twisted smile, others stand behind him. The scene shifts to a frozen wasteland, 28 weeks after the initial freeze. The perspective shifts to a frozen city, following survivors bundled in warm clothing. The scene focuses on a survivor in the frozen city, adjusting his coat against the harsh cold. He notices the place hasn't been explored, thinking basic supplies are extremely precious now. Suddenly the ground shakes and the survivor slips on the ice, shouting, "Oops, an earthquake." The survivor sees the ice shatter beneath him, realizing civilization is fragile. He plummets into the icy crevasse, realizing, "Oh no, I'll end up dead if I keep going like this." He desperately claws at the ice, yelling, "Please don't break." Frustrated, he shouts, "Darn it, I can't seem to stop." He plummets deeper into the abyss as a building explodes in ice shards. He lands in snow, relieved it wasn't ice, recalling a narrow escape. The text asks, in this frozen world, what is even more despairing is. The text reveals the cause of despair. A monster named Bai approaches the fallen survivor. The Bai preys on humans. The fallen survivor is shocked, exclaiming after, "F you." The survivor clenches his fist, exclaiming, "This blessing is not just for show," from the abyss. The Bai grabs him. The survivor, caught, exclaims, "I really screwed up this time." The Bai launches a massive ice attack from above the survivor. The Bai roars, unleashing a barrage of ice shards all around it. He mutters, "Regardless of what, I must save myself first." Suddenly, rocks start falling. He shouts, "Damn it," as more ice shards fall from above, threatening to bury him alive. He's crushed by the collapsing structure, his hand reaching out from the debris. Is this the end? A strange, glowing creature emerges from the ice, its power growing. The creature's eye glows with immense power, radiating outward. A storm of energy crackles around it. The man gasps awake, the glow from the creature fading. What just happened? Why am I in a daze here? He thinks, never mind, I've been out here long enough. Shining his flashlight, he says it's better to go back quickly. The harsh blizzard howls as he trudges back towards the towering buildings. He secures a rope and ice pick, preparing to descend into the icy depths. The only path home lies below. He observes other survivors huddled together in makeshift shelters inside the building. Even inside isn't safe, he thinks. He thinks with resources dwindling, what will people do? He moves on, spotting other survivors. He walks down a dark corridor, thinking gotta go home quickly. He enters a room and is immediately greeted by another survivor. Opening the door so quickly, Xiaming, you didn't. He is suddenly ambushed. A cute girl suddenly pins him down. What, don't you want to see me soon? Xiaming, holding up a Snickers bar, grins at her. Look what I brought for you. She gasps, what is this, chocolate? Her face lights up as she hugs Xiaming. My darling is the best. Xiaming replies, yes, only this, I almost got eaten by a monster for it. Go ahead and eat quickly. He sits by a makeshift fire thinking, what should I do? I haven't eaten in days. Xiaming looks at the seeds he collected. Are we considering eating them today? Xiaming thinks to himself, if that monster meat wasn't poisonous. Holding the monster meat, he thinks about the people in the building. He sees the clock. Today is Valentine's Day. He thinks, I actually forgot. He looks around. Mingaming, I'm sorry, I forgot today is. Mingaming, where did Mingaming go? Xiaming suddenly notices the safe and realizes, this code, it's Mingaming, what was she doing outside? Mingaming is suddenly impaled by several icicles. Blood splatters as he collapses from the unexpected attack. A man with a bat announces, Happy Valentine's Day, Brother Mo, as icicles impale Xiaming. The man asks, you like my gift? As he stands over a fallen DeLong, betrayal cuts deep in this frozen world. An angry woman demands, why follow Luo DeLong? You have the nerve to ask. The man with the bat scoffs, you even lied to your girlfriend. He prepares to strike. The bat-wielding man looms over Xiaming's body, demanding, then hand over all your food. Xiaming desperately asks, where do I have any food? The man replies, you don't rely on the strong, prey. Xiaming is brutally beaten with a bat, his face covered in blood. The metal bat crashes down with immense force, leaving him defenseless. A group cheers ooh as the leader stands with a bloody hand. Celebration rings. Xiaming bleeds out. A man reports, boss, we only found moldy grains. A bloodied man demands, give me the knife. Where meat also considers meat, we are not picky eaters. A sinister figure grins wickedly with a bloodied knife in hand. The final betrayal. Words echo, it's you. An office is shown. What does this have to do with Xiaming? Xiaming, seemingly revived, cries out, Luo DeLong. What's the situation? He looks around in a panic. Xiaming finds himself back in an office untouched. Am I not already dead? Why am I intact? The ground trembles as a monstrous bipie appears, unleashing a chilling roar. He wonders if the commotion caused the ice to fall, thinking to himself, I have to save myself first. As ice cracks around him, the man grits his teeth and yells, damn it, this isn't going as planned. The man plummets down enclosed in ice as he screams, oh no, I'm going to be interred alive. As the man falls, he summons a strange, glowing creature from his gloved hand. Is this his last resort? The mysterious creature crackles with energy, seemingly ready to unleash its power. Energy crackles in the air as the creature prepares a powerful blast. His eyes glow with a bright, eerie light as he prepares to fight back. Suddenly, the man finds himself back on the surface, disoriented. What just happened? Why am I in a daze here? He realizes he has been out for far too long. It's better to go back quickly. The blizzard rages outside the dilapidated skyscrapers. He must hurry back inside. He grips a unique tool, creating a path through the ice. This tunnel is his only route back home. He thinks that even inside the dilapidated building, their situation isn't good. When the disaster struck, many people were trapped in this building. Resources are low. What will they resort to? He notes that the patrols haven't started yet. Gotta go home quickly. He rushes into the building, a worried expression plastered on his face. He isn't alone. Xiaming is surprised by someone hugging him tightly as he enters. A sinister voice whispers, I want to see you soon. As Xiaming reassures the girl, she reminds him to lock the door properly. Another girl scoffs at his lack of priorities. Xiaming grins, presenting a Snickers bar as a peace offering. Look what I brought for you. The girl perks up asking, "What is this?" She's surprised, exclaiming, "Chocolate." She's overjoyed, stating, "My darling is the best." The girl asks if that's all he got. Xiaoming replies that he almost got eaten by a monster. She's enjoying her delicious Snickers bar. Those sound effects indicate she's eating greedily. Sitting by the fire, Xiaoming laments, "What should I do? I haven't eaten well for days." He looks at the seeds he collected. Are we considering eating them today? Xiaoming wishes that the monster meat wasn't poisonous. The people in the building wouldn't have to suffer from hunger anymore. He thinks that at least they won't freeze to death in the building. Looking at a digital clock, he suddenly remembers today is Valentine's Day. I actually forgot. Mingaming. As he closes the door, Xiaoming realizes Mingaming is missing. Where did Mingaming go? Xiaoming suddenly recognizes the password code. It's Mingaming's. What was she doing outside in the blizzard? Someone has brutally stabbed Xiaoming with a sharp object. Is this why Mingaming went out? The attacker holding the bloody weapon announces, "Happy Valentine's Day, Brother Mo." He mercilessly continues his assault. The sinister attacker holds Mingaming closely and asks, "You like my gift?" Bloody and injured, Xiaoming asks why Chen Ming betrayed him for Luo Delong. Chen Ming scoffs at his question. Luo Delong questions Xiaoming about hiding food, calling him inhuman. He mocks Xiaoming for being betrayed by Chen Ming. Luo Delong coldly states that this is an era of the law of the jungle. With a loud crash, someone smashes the floor with a long, blunt weapon. Luo Delong demands Xiaoming hand over his food. Xiaoming, injured and desperate, questions where he would even have any. He has nothing to give. Before Xiaoming can react, Luo Delong and his goons descend on him. What are you going to do? Luo Delong smashes his weapon down on Xiaoming, making a loud wham sound. Luo Delong and his goons continue their assault. Xiaoming has been left for dead. Luo Delong's goon reports that they found only moldy grains after searching the entire building. He demands that Chen Ming give him the knife. The laughing continues as the attacker readies his knife to kill Xiaoming. A figure materializes out of thin air, surrounded by an electric aura. That's good, it's you. Xiaoming's eyes glow with power as he hears Luo Delong's name echoing in his mind. Xiaoming gasps for air, wondering what just happened. What's the situation? Am I not already dead? Xiaoming finds himself in his old office. He wonders how he's still alive. The world is ending. There are only 28 hours until the world freezes over. The story begins with a man who has glowing eyes, signaling his power. The world will freeze in 24 hours. Protests in Queens are still happening. While chaos erupts and the police try to keep order, some party at pleasure II. Unbeknownst to everyone, a deal is being made in the city. Only 23 hours and 41 minutes remain. Everyone goes about their day, oblivious to the upcoming doom except for one student. He seems ready. The student sees the aurora and realizes it's a harbinger of the ice. Someone calls out to him. As the student is called out, a call comes in from Mingaming. She seems malicious. The student, betrayed by Mingaming's actions, vows to end it once and for all. Ignoring his love's comment about the aurora, he accepts the call from another person. He seems determined to settle things. On the other end of the call, Mingaming asks him for money. Her credit card is maxed. Deciding to delete Mingaming's contact, the student believes in his second chance. He sees Mingaming as a future threat. He reflects on his second chance as the countdown timer shows 23 hours and 58 minutes left. The skyscrapers loom behind him. He vows to prepare this time, contrasting his last week's failure. The world will soon freeze. The world descends into chaos as society crumbles. He only has an hour left to gather resources. He equips a gun. He will need to use any and every tool available. The police, suspicious of his late-night stroll, order him to stop. His second chance might be short-lived. The police point their guns, yelling, "Hands up." They received a report of a thief nearby. He yells, "I don't have time to waste on you two white pigs," as it turns 0000. Thinking fast, he hopes the police will let him go after the search. He remembers Newbie's advice. Bringing out his gun, he lies to the police. "I'm just an office worker, here it's just." The police officer yells, "Weapon, it's a weapon." It seems the protagonist's charade is over, he is exposed. Suddenly a blast hits the police. The student shouts, "Shit, what's happening?" The student's eye glows with power as he's hit by another blast in the city. The police retaliate, they shoot back at their attacker with full force. One police officer yells, "What's the situation?" As the bullet flies toward the student, he can see the bullet coming. Time, slow down, he wonders. His power activates, slowing time. "I can dodge it," he yells. He believes he can survive this situation. The police officer shouts, "You idiot, I'm your taxpayer." He fires his gun. The student is surrounded by a strange energy. "I've got no time to waste on you, idiot." The bullet casing falls to the ground as multiple figures emerge from the blast. Are they friend or foe? The student punches the police officer. Are the figures behind him by pie? The remaining police officer points his gun, asking, "Oh my God, what are you?" His body is overflowing with power. What kind of being has he become? Looking conflicted, the student mutters, "I don't know." What is he unsure about? Amidst the icy ruins, a man with glowing markings stands with a woman in a lab coat. A cold wave engulfs the Brooklyn Bridge, with snow blanketing everything in sight. The situation is dire. A citizen's broadcast warns of the Department of Homeland Security's involvement. Something serious is brewing amidst the chaos. The scientist claims the weather is just unusual, as an emergency broadcast blares, "Please, citizens, do not panic." With a menacing look, the man declares there won't be any mishaps this time, as the warning continues. Another man asks, how is he still not talking? The tied-up man insists he doesn't know anything, blood trickling down his face. Another man questions him with a cigarette. He's shown a picture of himself drugging the boss's daughter. The tied-up man stutters, claiming ignorance at the time. Looking down at the tied man, a man with a fur coat says, "Forget it, only God can save you." The tied-up man screams as a knife is readied, glinting menacingly in the dim light. He counts the fingers covered in blood in the case. 6, just right, no mistakes. A man asks Brother Luo how they should deal with the dead man. He smokes, looking relaxed. Brother Luo orders to just throw him into the boiler. As two men dispose of the body, "Rest in peace." As they are about to throw the body, one of them notices something amiss. Suddenly an explosion blasts one of the men. Luo exclaims, "Damn it, you jinx." "No, this is," the man mutters as a drill pierces the metallic floor underneath. Breathing heavily, he finishes building a crop frame. He stares at water supplies. It's not enough. He thinks supplies will eventually run out. Self-sufficiency is the key, a perfect survival room. The clock ticks faster as the freezing begins to accelerate. He thinks it's the perfect time to speed things up. Time is life. Startled, the man wonders who is knocking at this time. Before he opens the door, he wonders why it feels familiar. A security guard says, "Mr. Mo, sorry to disturb you." Mr. Mo asks what's going on. The guards explain the temperature dropped and the heating is broken. Heating is broken. Remembering last week's failure, Mr. Mo realizes the heating malfunctioned and wasn't fixed in time. Mo desperately asks if they can take him to see the heating. "That would be great," he says. Guards ask Mr. Mo where he's going. One of the guards questions if the boiler room is that way. The guards lead Mr. Mo down. He remembers the boiler room is supposedly illegal. Descending into the depths, the basement's chill seeps into them. The basement is really cold. One guard shivers. Mr. Mo notices strange smoke that feels like cold air. A guard calls for him. "Mr. Mo, could you please?" The strange man smiles. "This should be fine now." His hands glow blue with a strange fluid. "Wait, this liquid is." Mr. Mo asks any other problems, before he is suddenly attacked with immense force. A giant monster consumes Mr. Mo, blood splattering everywhere. They're growing back. One of the guards witnesses the gruesome attack, shouting, "How could there be white skin? And what the hell is this?" Before Mr. Mo can react, a grotesque monster bursts forth, its maw gaping wide. "What?" Mr. Mo cries, helpless as he's eaten. Luo curses. Screams echo as spectral figures surround the giant pie, engulfing it. The guards scream in terror. The strange man declares, "That was close, old Joe almost lost his head." Great. He thinks, "As long as I sprint at full speed, I can escape," as the monster opens its maw. The guard wonders how the man is keeping up with the guard's speed. He exclaims, "Damn it." The man with the glowing mark stands before a ruined city, followed by another. The man carrying another struggles with his speed as a monster's jaws open above him. He apologizes, realizing his mistake. Despite the danger, he pushes forward. "I need to get old Kyo out of here," he shouts as he attacks. The old man exclaims, "Damn it, what's going on?" as he falls down the elevator shaft. The man's glowing mark flares as he sees a giant Kyo pie emerge from the shattered ground. He pants heavily, exhausted from the battle. "Old Kyo, are you okay?" A massive eye appears, seemingly belonging to the pie. Fingers. He notes it lacks fingers and thinks, "Looks like it's related to Lao Kyo." He starts to analyze, "When I was holding Lao Kyo, the white skin caught up." He realizes, "Causing my ability to fail. The condition has nothing to do with the white skin." The man stares intently, "So it must be Lao Kyo," he questions aloud. He pieces it together. "Strange phenomena occurred when I was throwing Lao Kyo." As the rocks float upwards, the man suddenly realizes. "I see now," he exclaims. He realizes humans previously had no chance against the pie, but now things are changing. The prey can be the hunter. The man prepares his attack, energy crackling in his hand, determination in his eyes. He prepares to attack, using all the energy from his mark. A figure approaches from above. He fires a beam of energy, aiming to pierce the pie's massive eye. He smirks, confirming his suspicions. "Indeed, my ability can only affect targets contaminated with energy." He realizes his ability to accelerate objects depends on contamination. Kinetic energy is now on his side. The energy beam splatters harmlessly on the ground. "Huh," he says, confused by the result of the attack. He notices the blue substance on his hand. "This is blue blood, what's going on?" He coughs up a large amount of blue liquid, his eyes glowing with intense light. He collapses, exhausted and freezing, so cold. Meanwhile, he hears them shouting, "Mr. Lin, Lao Kyo." Someone exclaims in relief, "Thank goodness you're okay." A voice shouts, "Mr. Lin, wake up." A man urgently suggests blocking the wind and turning on the security room's heating. Someone yells, "Don't sleep, you saved my life." Others rush in, concerned about Mr. Lin and Mrs. Fang. Amidst the blue energy, voices yell, "We're almost there, hold on, Dr. Joe." Someone says to leave him, while another hopes he'll be fine under the lights. Medical staff examine Mr. Lin. Recording 409, patient male 20 to 25 years old. Medical staff observe Mr. Lin, puzzled by his stable condition despite his circumstances. A researcher holds a device analyzing the blue blood sample. It's really incredible. Blood separation has been completed. Let's see the results. The researcher says, after separating the blood, blue impurities were found. More analysis is required. Meanwhile, Mr. Lin is examined. The medical staff observe the strange allergic reaction. Lin wakes up to a woman saying, "Oh, you're awake." Lin, covered in strange veins, asks, "Who are you?" An unknown person replies, me, just an ordinary unlicensed doctor." The woman smiles, holding a cigarette, and says, "For some reasons, I can't reveal my name." The woman, introduced as Doc Joe, looms over Lin, intrigued by his condition. "How did you end up like this?" Doc Joe asks Lin about his experiences on the second basement level. Doc Joe, cigarette in hand, says with a smile, "I am very interested in you right now." The King of Snow stands tall amidst the icy apocalypse, his glowing eye a sign of his power. He dodges a monstrous icy maw. "Am I too slow because I'm carrying old Cairo?" He apologizes to old Cairo, knowing what he must do next to survive in this frozen hellscape. "I have to throw you out." But Mr. Mo yells, "Get out of here," as he is suddenly launched away. Mr. Mo is being flung away, questioning the situation as he goes through a wall. The King of Snow's face is filled with worry. A monstrous pie rises from the wall's debris. The King of Snow pants heavily, blue energy crackling around his eye. The pie mutates, focusing its icy, menacing gaze on the King of Snow. Finger. The pie speaks, confused about its missing finger. It seems to be related to old Cairo, the King of Snow thinks. He remembers that the pie could keep up when he was holding old Cairo. Let's recap first. He wonders if the pie's condition renders his power ineffective. The pie confirms the finger is gone. The King of Snow realizes, so it must be related to old Joe. The King of Snow recalls something odd when he threw old Joe away from the pie. The King of Snow notices pebbles are being launched with significant force. He exclaims, "I see." The King of Snow thinks of the previous cycle and how humans were helpless against white skin. The King of Snow prepares to use his powers. "If I contaminate myself." The King of Snow prepares to contaminate himself. A massive pie hand hurtles down toward him. "I have to stop it." The King of Snow unleashes a torrent of blue energy to stop the hand. The King of Snow realizes, just as I thought, my guess was correct. The King of Snow knows that if he accelerates objects, their kinetic energy will increase. The King of Snow stares in disbelief as blue liquid drips from his face. "Ha," he utters in confusion. The King of Snow is shocked to see the blue liquid is actually blood. What's going on here? The King of Snow spits out blue blood. Another King of Snow appears below, ready to fight. The King of Snow stumbles, feeling a chill. "So cold," he says as he struggles to stand. Someone shouts, "Mr. Lin, old Joe." Someone grabs Mr. Lin. They are relieved he is awake. "How's the situation outside?" Looking at Mr. Lin, they are shocked. He looks poisoned. What happened in the basement? Ignoring everyone, Mr. Lin pushes through the crowd. He still appears to be dazed. Voices shout from below, cheering him on. "We're almost there, hang in there." A recording notes Mr. Lin is in a coma, showing symptoms of poisoning. The scientist looks at the blood results. "Incredible, blood separation has been completed. Let's take a look at the results." Looking at Mr. Lin, she says, Interesting, never seen this before." The scientist studies Mr. Lin's body. Now we'll observe his surface characteristics. The scientist examines Mr. Lin's skin and notes, but if you look closely, it's like some kind of allergic reaction. Mr. Lin is being held by someone. "Who are you?" Mr. Lin exclaims, noticing the markings on his body. The mysterious scientist says, "For some reasons, I cannot reveal my name to you." Doc Joe examines Mr. Lin's condition, curious about his transformation. "Now let me see, how did you end up like this?" Doc Joe, examining Mr. Lin, admits, "I've never seen symptoms like yours before." A woman appears. Right now I'm very interested in you, extremely interested. The monstrous Bai roars, its form radiating with intense energy. The fight continues. The hero stands amidst the frozen city, a strange mark glowing on his face. The camera pans back, revealing the desolate cityscape of Brooklyn. The temperature has plummeted to degrees C. The narration shifts to medical facts as the body's temperature resistance is reviewed. The cold is more dangerous than it seems. The doctor removes the thermometer. Okay, you can let go now. He shows the hero his dangerously low temperature, 11.5 degrees C. The hero lays on a table, seemingly unaffected by the cold. Another person wonders, is it because of my ability? The scientist examines something under a microscope. He says, I don't have time to think about this now, I have to complete the plan ASAP. He mutters, I see. The hero slips on the ice. Veins are visible through his skin. The woman tells the hero not to move, his body is weak. She has figured out what he is. The woman asks if he has a superpower. The hero wonders how she could possibly know. He warns himself not to underestimate the doctor's observation. Now that his ability is active, escaping will be much faster. The woman asks, hey, are you okay? The hero wonders what is happening to him. The hero feels the acceleration ability activate, wondering why it's happening now. It is 2:52 p.m. Footsteps echo as a character says, after meeting with Dr. Joe, both of you need to behave a little more. Another replies, yes. The scene changes from the hallway to a sterile room. The hero lies injured beside the scientist. The hero gasps, noticing strange veins appearing on his face and arms. Suddenly, the woman yells at someone to get lost, then urges the hero to hurry and offers her hand. Someone asks who's outside. The woman orders him to lie down, her expression grave. He wants to ask questions, but she stops him. The hero, veins pulsing, is told to do as he's told to survive. He must obey. The woman tells him to close his eyes. A man at the doorway apologizes for the disturbance. Someone refers to the woman as Dr. Joe. The man asks Dr. Joe to chat a little. She says it's up to him. The hero, unconscious, hears a familiar voice. A man says the person they seek died of poisoning. The man in the fur coat questions if the hero is really dead. He suggests helping Dr. Joe check again. Dr. Joe asks, you mean? She states firmly, I told you he is dead. A man with glowing eyes smirks, questioning if the hero's death might be a ruse. Dr. Joe strikes out at the fur-clad man defending the hero. She exclaims, oh. Dr. Joe asks if they dare question her abilities. Enraged, another man shouts at her for hitting Brother DeLong. A man shouts stop, pointing at the hero. Dr. Joe is beside him. The man apologizes to Dr. Joe, asking for forgiveness for his rudeness. He claims she saved many of their brothers. The man questions Dr. Joe, asking how he can doubt her. He then begs her not to be angry with him, saying the earlier incident was his fault. He warns her not to forget his help. The man demands an answer. The man in fur says to think about it. Dr. Joe scoffs. Someone notices the hero is awake and urges him to get up, stating he's gone. Joe believes he has many questions. Another comments about DeLong. The hero wakes up, remembering Luo DeLong's attempt on his life. He wonders why Dr. Joe is protecting him, asking, where are my clothes? Amidst a frozen city, a man with glowing markings stands with a scientist. The scene shifts to Brooklyn, where a biting degrees C wind howls. Looking at the furnace, one man admits he used to see his dad as a loser. He now thinks he's great. He nervously jokes about the weather. He tries to reassure them that the temperature will return to normal soon. Do you think it'll get better? He notes the government emergency broadcasts are now every 20 minutes. Internet is down. The man with the fur collar scoffs, so then why God doesn't punish sinners like you, huh? The fur-collared man claims he's merely managing the apartment building. He believes his created order is harmonious. His subordinate argues otherwise. The fur-collared man threatens to cut off heat, calling it equivalent exchange. Isn't that good? The subordinate yells, you vampire. The fur-collared man notes a tenant in apartment 409 seems to have died. The fur-collared man notes a tenant in 409, Mr. Lin, has died. A mysterious sound is heard as he asks, are you? The man in the lab coat asks if he is dressed. The other man states he needs more time. Damn, is even getting dressed this troublesome? The man questions if only 6 hours have passed, but the woman replies it's been 6 days. The screen displays July 21st, 3:05 p.m. She reveals that the fur-collared man forces residents to exchange supplies for heating. Going outside is suicide. They'd die anyway. Luo DeLong's memories are shown. They include fur-collar man. DeLong proclaims, no matter where you are, you're a beast. DeLong wonders aloud, my body, as he looks down at his marked arm. The fur-collared man laughs before stating there's a condition. He claims to run an underground clinic, not a charity. The fur-collared man smirks, asking how about it, can you accept it? DeLong asks what the condition is. The man responds, very good. She wants DeLong to become her research subject, allowing only her to study him. Don't worry, my research won't endanger your life. DeLong accepts the fur-collared man's proposal with a confident, yet hesitant, deal. She explains a special substance in DeLong's blood absorbs thermal radiation. This substance converts radiation to energy. The woman tells DeLong his weakness is just hunger. So, a big meal and I'm fine, he asks. DeLong smirks, stating he has a way. He confidently walks down a stairwell, prepared for what's ahead. DeLong heads down the stairwell, thinking if he gets home, it's a victory. DeLong tries the door, but it's locked. His marked hand tightens around the handle. He grunts in frustration. DeLong is shocked by the frozen state of his apartment and exclaims, oh my, did they cut off the heating to my room? He realizes his apartment has frozen over, but he spots something, the food with the highest calories. He sees a box of chocolate bars labeled suckers and his eyes widen. He grimaces, haunted by the memories flooding back. Looking at the chocolate bar, he says, gotta switch brands next time I buy chocolate. DeLong feels nothing from the chocolate and notes he needs more. He starts to feel the hunger take hold. DeLong feels something inside him, craving heat as his eyes glow. I'm about to lose control. Looking down at the open door to apartment 409, DeLong wonders who's inside. The two men are surprised the door opened by itself. They note a large number of supplies inside the apartment. Two men inside apartment 409 demand to know who opened the door. The woman says her final simulation report is ready. Inside the apartment, one man yells, did you get that? The other man appears nervous. His eyes glow menacingly as red energy crackles around him. He grins, clearly losing control. 72 hours prior, a man stares at the blue mess in room 409. What happened here? He looks at a picture of the blue mess. Interesting, a monitor. The woman smokes and decides, I have to go to the security room to find out the truth. Suddenly an announcement blares, attention all residents. She continues smoking. The announcement warns about resource allocation. A young girl tells her mom she's hungry. Then ominous text appears. The man says the old man is heavy. Keep an eye on the boiler. A voice says, in exchange for your heating, is this some kind of prank? He wants people to realize the seriousness of things. Someone turns the heating switch off. He turns off the heating with a sinister smile. H-A-H-A. He laughs with evil intent. The energy surges around him as he clenches his fists. A voice echoes from the blue energy. The man in cuffs is confused. What? Energy crackles around Luo DeLong's name. His eye is bloodshot with dark energy surging. He grins sinisterly, surrounded by red energy. Of course, DeLong is now engulfed in the strange power. The man clutches his throat, struggling to breathe. Red energy pulses from his glowing eyes and mouth. He cackles manically, do you know, human flesh tastes almost like beef. Red energy emanates from DeLong as a hooded figure approaches him. The possessed DeLong explodes through the ceiling. The men below look up, shocked by the sudden destruction. The men look down in terror, uttering this, my God, this is. A mangled, burning corpse lies before them. Dust settles as the men realize someone fell through the ceiling. What just happened? DeLong approaches, surrounded by red energy. What the hell is this guy, an alien? Someone examines the plants, wondering if it's red aurora. DeLong faces an enemy. Damn, there's no way to win. The man raises his weapon. Might as well go all out. His eyes glow red with the mark of the energy. DeLong declares this is the law of the jungle. Red energy pulses from him and his hooded allies. The man's eyes widen with surprise as he thinks, so fast. DeLong smirks, red energy swirling around him. He's trying to provoke me. The enemy is surrounded by more hooded figures covered in red energy. DeLong laughs, don't move if you dare, you weakling. Red energy radiates from the hooded man. The hooded man screams in terror as DeLong unleashes red energy. The red energy explodes as DeLong launches forward. He wants to kill the man. DeLong hears someone from a distance shout, "Linmo." His eyes are now fully consumed by the strange red energy. Mingaming appears with a gun looking directly at DeLong. The energy surrounds her. DeLong questions why the strange energy pulses from his face and clothing. Someone says, don't worry, it's just some insulin. DeLong is on the ground, his eyes blank and face wounded. DeLong is hugged from behind with the words, it's to break down the excess heat in your body. But the icy apocalypse turns people to cannibalism. Hunger is a catalyst for war. The need for food is a tale as old as time, yet hunger never truly fades. In this frozen world, farming becomes impossible, and hunger breeds atrocities. DeLong wakes up among the foliage, disoriented. The woman apologizes and asks what has happened, a cigarette hanging from her lips. The woman plucks a plump red fruit from the vine and eats it. She looks at the growing plants and wonders, The woman states the fruit is surprisingly not bad. She believes there is enough food for the building. Meanwhile, the snow continues to fall as they journey onward, finding safety. DeLong is freezing but tries to keep it hidden. His companion asks if he can hold on through the storm. DeLong claims it's no problem. DeLong suddenly remembers he has chocolate. His companion refuses, still appearing ill. He thinks the chocolate was almost taken by that bastard, lamenting it should have been in his coat. His companion notices DeLong staring into nothing. She asks him to stop looking and asks if he remembers. He suddenly remembers something, laughing as he realizes, I totally forgot. His expression darkens, stating I'm so useless. Suddenly, DeLong's companion is attacked. The strange monster stares blankly, awaiting its next command. The Bai-Pai impales DeLong's companion with its hands, blood splattering everywhere. Her pained expression is the last thing she sees. A giant Bai-Pai towers over them, stating that woman is delicious. DeLong's companion lays on the ground, shocked and confused. DeLong yells at him to wake up. The woman has been impaled by the Bai-Pai. She hears someone yelling from above, urging them to come there. DeLong yells, telling her to run if you want to live, and calling others over here. DeLong yells and tries to punch the Bai-Pai, but is thrown into the air. DeLong flies through the air, crashing into the snow. He stares in disbelief as blood splatters across his face. The Bai-Pai looms, ready to strike again. The force of impact sends both the woman and DeLong flying through the air. DeLong grits his teeth and grabs a bottle of alcohol. He pours the liquid onto the ground, creating a small flame. He stares intently at the blaze. DeLong lights the alcohol on fire and throws it to the monster below. DeLong lays on the floor, bleeding. The fire surrounds him as the Bai-Pai grows angry, shouting, hot, hate it, hot. A horrifying Bai-Pai towers over DeLong. It howls in pain as he starts to burn. The companion is relieved, stating that seems like that thing didn't follow us. She spots the elevator, believing they are finally safe. The companion shouts to hurry and press the button for the elevator. Below, the Bai-Pai claws at the ceiling above. The Bai-Pai claws at the ceiling, breaking through. The companion yells at the elevator to hurry up. DeLong's eyes glow as he stares at the monster, shouting to close your eyes. DeLong looks up, confused by the intense flash of light. The Bai-Pai writhes and shouts about the light. The light fades as the Bai-Pai writhes on the floor, screaming in pain. Exel raises his hand, the same energy emitting from his fingertips, stating, "You smells like teen spirit." Exel appears above the Bai-Pai, gripping an object with intent. "Hate, rock, trash," the monster screams, seemingly recognizing him. The Bai-Pai continues to reach for the elevator and our two survivors. The cover shows the icebound apocalypse as humanity struggles to survive. Collars, one of the world's oldest ornaments, have always had changing meanings. In the past, they symbolized slavery and ownership. But now, the world has changed drastically to sexual exploitation, perversions, and potential enslavement. The woman assures him his collar isn't for those purposes. He argues he only agreed to be a research subject. She counters, stating he is a research subject and the collar is a monitoring tool. Then, she asks if he remembers what she said about the things inside his body. She states it also absorbs heat and can store it. However, it seems the collar has more than just that one function. The collar was made to prove a hypothesis. When blood sugar is high, it activates that thing and changes color. DeLong asks the scientist what she means by another state. She smokes and asks if he remembers what happened 20 minutes ago. He looks confused and scared. DeLong's eyes widen as he says he can't remember. The scientist touches his forehead, telling him, "Don't worry." The scientist reassures DeLong, stating that it's all right, he doesn't remember. She adds that understanding the situation is also part of their research. DeLong feels like this woman has a hold on him. DeLong sits, pondering the mystery. He expresses his desire to understand what's really happening. DeLong is determined to figure out the situation. The scientist thinks she will have the upper hand once the device is activated. Then she presses a button. DeLong looks to be in immense pain. DeLong screams out in pain as he is hooked to tubes. He wonders what is happening to him. The scientist observes DeLong's reaction, stating she needs to record the data. His collar glows intensely red. He screams, demanding to know what she did. DeLong is restrained and being experimented on as he is told to squat down. DeLong is in shock. The scientist holds a potted plant, her menacing gaze fixed on him. What could this possibly mean? What else is she hiding? DeLong's eyes glow red as he sees the potted plant in the scientist's hands, confused. Power emanates from the scientist as DeLong's eyes glow intensely. He shouts, questioning if she dares to trick him. DeLong smirks, finding the situation quite amusing. He dodges an attack, but the experiment has certainly changed him. DeLong has fully transformed. His eyes glow red and he says, "Well, we have met again." DeLong stares at someone identical to him. He asks, "You are me." DeLong thinks he is hallucinating. The scientist reveals that DeLong can't hear her anymore. DeLong can't hear the scientist. He questions if the scientist is able to hear. The transformed DeLong asks if this is his doing. His double responds, sort of but also not. The original DeLong demands an explanation. The transformed DeLong smiles wickedly and asks, "As for who I am," he throws something at the original DeLong. DeLong looks up, asking what is going on. The transformed DeLong asks if he remembers anything. DeLong's double replies, "You are that time," before stating yes. His form shifts, revealing glowing markings on his neck and back. The transformed DeLong says, "Your powers and your ability to resurrect." The transformed DeLong claims his actions are on the original DeLong before adding, "So let's get along nicely." He has found Lin Mo. An advertisement panel appears to promote Dragontia's new Manhwa and Discord server. An advertisement panel pops up showcasing a few more comics on Dragontia's website. Check out the new series. Icebound Apocalypse. As the world freezes, a new power emerges, ready to face the storm. Inside the facility, Barbara asks about the network, only to be met with the same frustrating answer. The engineers can't be reached due to the outside situation. She clicks her tongue in annoyance. The chapter begins, promising a deeper dive into this chilling, frozen world. Barbara sighs, frustrated by the lack of progress, and questions if a report is finished. An engineer nervously says it's almost done. Barbara demands it be sent to her first, leaving the other engineer confused. The woman scoffs, cigarette in mouth, questioning the importance of the engineer's report. She believes that Baldy won't take it seriously. She sighs, here we go again. Frank Cordick speaks of climate change and cyber attacks. Communications are down and operatives are missing. The man exclaims about agents not yet activated and yells, we are in a war. The bald man says, war never changes and my soldiers. Suddenly he's struck with a low blow. He yells, don't bother with your political correctness at this point. Now in the National Logistic Agency, Frank asks, do you understand why I'm anxious? On the monitor, the bald man points out something around the strange creature's neck. He questions if they are humans. They found a missing agent's signal near the bunker just before the crash. The woman with the cigarette says the body mutated 24 hours after arriving at the morgue, turning into the creature displayed on the screen. The man says two creatures, Shell and the first, are the initial monsters. Then number 0 asks what is happening now. The voice exclaims that it was once a bug, but now it transformed into a beautiful girl. The transformed girl wonders why humans are shy around the opposite sex. The transformed girl appears over the man covered in blue energy. Is this an illusion? He asks, panicked. The transformed girl says the surrounding environment is like time frozen. You could think of it that way. She leans in close and asks if he can hear her thinking. She says the woman injected him with enough sugar to activate her consciousness. The girl states she is just an illusion. The transformed girl states that humans are a curious little thing. They reveal they are not part of this dimension, but aim to understand it. The transformed girl explains it's hard for humans to understand. Her race has no names and can't define themselves. The transformed girl wants to see the castles of time. She wonders how to prove their existence. The man scowls, retorting to the transformed girl's words, claiming her philosophies make her sound lonely. She tilts her head, asking, are you pitying me? She questions if this is what humans call empathy. The transformed girl comments on the man's cute expression before delivering bad news. She reveals he's been targeted by Shell. Suddenly, ice spikes shoot up through the ground. The creature sniffs the air. The smell, here, food, it thinks, sensing a new presence. It identifies its target, yelling, enemy. A horde of Bai-Pai rush towards the man and the girl, ready to attack. This panel is an advertisement for other stories on Dragon T's website. They range from comedy to action. A blizzard rages over a city overrun with monstrous, icy creatures. A transformed girl smiles eerily, telling the chained man he'll soon know what Shell means. She tells him to find her if he needs anything. The transformed girl prepares a massive syringe. The chained man watches, helpless, as the scientist observes. With a twisted smile, the transformed girl runs from the scene. A gruesome monster stands over a body, blood splattered across the floor. What has she done? The transformed girl walks away, a trail of blood and chaos left behind. A man desperately flees a monstrous ice creature. DeLong is trapped, pursued by the ice monsters. Damn it, how did the door lock itself? DeLong is overwhelmed, surrounded by the ice monsters. They descend on him in a flurry of sharp claws and teeth. The men are shocked by the creatures in front of them. One yells, what the hell is this thing? They prepare to fight what lies before them. Roped and bloodied, DeLong realizes he'll have to rely on old methods. DeLong strains against the ropes, pulling hard. It's a good thing I've got these old injuries, dislocating them is easy now. His face bloodied, a man finds himself surrounded by giant, ominous pods. I should find another way around. Bloodied and bruised, DeLong realizes he can't stay unarmed. He needs weapons from the security room safe. Luckily, other thieves didn't find the weapons locker. A monstrous shell looms over the security officer who is bleeding from his nose. Damn it. The transformed girl observes the plants, noting they respond to his influence. The chained DeLong demands, so can you undo this damn thing now? She warns of a weakened state if he overuses his powers. DeLong demands she undo his transformation, but she pauses. What was that sound? They hear a heavy thud from the other side of the door. DeLong and the transformed girl are startled by the noise. A beam of ice pierces through the door, narrowly missing DeLong. What's happening? Oh no, DeLong exclaims. Could it be? The transformed DeLong is grabbed by an unseen force. Why are you still here? The transformed girl, engulfed in blue flames, warns, now's not the time to be stuck on this. DeLong, surrounded by blue energy, exclaims about difficult women. A voice whispers sorry and excuse me in response. DeLong is protected by the transformed girl's energy. He notices a strange creature behind the translucent duo. The transformed girl manages to throw DeLong out of the way of the ice beam. He looks back at her, shocked, and asks, "Hey, are you okay?" The transformed girl grabs DeLong with blue energy. "So you can make that expression too," she states. DeLong looks at the icy creature and asks, "What is that?" The transformed girl states, "Shell, it's definitely dangerous." DeLong tells Dr. Joe to let him handle the approaching threat. "Let me handle this thing." An advertisement for Dragontia Inc. asks readers to bookmark, comment, and share the series. The chapter concludes with advertisements for other series available on Dragontia Inc.'s website and Discord server. The cover of the manhwa shows a man with glowing eyes surrounded by ice. The woman smokes a cigarette, her pink eyes staring. She says, "You, I swear," before asking if this is the right time to talk. He confidently states that they will deal with the others first. With glowing energy around his eye, he says, "I'll be sure to thank you properly." The creatures begin to descend from the ceiling, trapping the pair. "What?" The man is shocked. He narrows his eyes, asking if this is collective action from the white skins. He realizes dealing with one is manageable, but not this many. It might weaken him again. She smiles, "You might have to wait longer." He steels himself as the monsters advance, blue energy flowing from his eye. He grits his teeth. "I'll have to face them head-on." He is surrounded by the Bai monsters. Blue energy emanates from him. The woman looks on, smoking a cigarette, muttering, "Since that's the case." An interface shows his glycogen at 100%. He states that he'll see where his limit lies. He realizes he'll weaken if he fights them all. However, he realizes, "But there's a solution, I just need to use it when necessary." He notes that the Bai are smarter than he thought as they attack with pincers. "But I'm not your prey anymore." He proclaims that he can easily dodge attacks without acceleration. The same goes for offense. He questions if they are scared now. Blue energy surrounds him. He proclaims, "I'm just getting started." The woman reads from her tablet. Although the calorie consumption hasn't decreased, the efficiency of ability usage has been optimized. The woman calls out, "Hey, test subject." She tells him to let loose using his abilities. He states, "As I thought, you're monitoring my body's condition." The Bai surround him, descending with purple energy. Blue energy crackles around DeLong. DeLong is surrounded by spinning blue energy, fighting the Bai. "You captivity enthusiast quack," he yells mid-battle. Above, a screen reads 83%. The woman smiles, stating he's mastered his abilities quite well. DeLong is covered in energy. DeLong, covered in blue energy, stands in a room covered in blue goo. But now there's a new question. A bloodied eye opens, focused and intense. DeLong is covered in blood, lying on the ground, confused, muttering, "What's happening?" "Blood." A bloody claw grips a red weapon. DeLong, covered in blood, stares ahead, noting, "If these monsters show up again, I might not be so lucky." He's been attacked, covered in blood, and asks how he's receiving a signal. An unknown number calls. He answers, "Hello, good day, Josh Castillo." The man on the phone, covered in blood, hears, "Or should I call you Mr. Curved Blade?" It's a promotional panel. Check out Dragontia Inc. for more comics and join their Discord. It's a promotional panel showing other comics available on Dragontia Inc. Join their Discord for more content. The cover art features the main character ready to face the icebound apocalypse. He finishes relaying what he knows, omitting his death and revival. The woman reveals a hazardous environment protection suit. She directs their attention to the ceiling, where white skins entered through the ducts. She asks if he felt the temperature drop. Suddenly, a young girl appears, wounded and seemingly connected to the situation. The woman asks if the girl is from next door. She's suddenly shoved forward by the man, who yells, "Wait up." He stares down a hallway covered in blood. A girl stands at the end, covered in the same blood. These are all. The chapter begins with a gruesome scene above the title card. The title is, "This Icebound Apocalypse Shows No Mercy." He notes the gunshot wounds of the fallen, stating the obvious. He warns the girl it's too dangerous to proceed. He yells in disbelief, recognizing the bloody corpse as Old Joe. He mourns old Joe, remembering his kindness in his past life. He notes that the white skins killed him. He sighs in sadness, but then the corpse moves. He yells out in alarm. The bloody old Joe claims he isn't dead and still owes Lynn a drink. His hand suddenly grabs the woman's arm. She stares at him unfazed. The girl asks if the woman is a doctor, pointing out her red cross. She pleads for her Uncle Josh. Old Joe yells at the smiling assailant, covered in blood. He says he's just stalling with them, calling them weaklings. Suddenly, a body falls from the floor above, landing with a loud thud. An unknown figure is staring at a group of monsters and utters survival of the fittest. A gunshot rings out. As the wounded man falls, the perspective shifts to a suited man firing up the staircase. He's still going up. The woman comments that Lynn is lucky but still needs a safe place. DeLong mutters his name. Lynn asks, "What are you?" Lin Mo's body glows blue with energy. It seems he's also got unique patterns around his left eye. The man comments that all these bodies along the way should delay those monsters. He notes the monsters were here for a long time. He thinks the warehouse is the safest place. Supplies might be inside. An enemy yells in surprise, recognizing Luo DeLong and his energy. The suited man reappears, meeting them again. The suited man's hand glows with a blue energy as he attacks the monster. DeLong grabs the enemy, questioning his motives as blue energy crackles around his hand. The enemy replies that they have no grudges, at least from his perspective. They fall from above. The narrator claims that after his resurrection, he put his energy to building a safe house. He now realizes it was a ridiculous idea. DeLong shouts that the anger is also directed at his naive self. He seems to be in immense pain. DeLong vows that any intrusion will be met with 100-fold retribution. His power erupts around him. The artwork requests the viewers to bookmark, comment, and share the content. The story takes a pause to show off other webcomics on Dragontia, Inc. and their Discord server. As the suited man recoils from his recent outburst, the woman with pink hair observes him. She wonders if he's fought that bastard before or if people with powers are simply impulsive. She thanks him for taking him out. The pink-haired woman presses further, asking if the suited man has beef with the same guy. After a moment of silence, the suited man declines to pry further into the matter. The scene shifts to a bunker, apparently considered a safe room, but even this room has a history. They acknowledge the lack of heating, realizing the burning fuel won't last forever. The threat of the white skins by Pi looms large, infiltrating everywhere. Reinforcing the room becomes a priority. The group faces a dilemma, needing to brave the monster-filled basement to restore heating. The pink-haired woman declares their fate, death by freezing. The suited man interrupts with an idea. The character falls out of a garbage chute, apparently an old way of entering a location. As the suited man stares in horror, he sees something above and hears clanging. As the suited man looks up, a mysterious woman stomps on a white skin's head. A loud bang is heard. The woman tells the doctor he's blocking her. She asks him to test the subject. The woman shushes the suited man after he fell from the garbage chute. A monstrous figure looms in the background, prompting a question from the woman. The man responds with ignorance, adding confusion about her presence. The woman asks who will operate it while the suited man's power seems to be weakening. She warns against collapsing. The suited man stares at the monstrous white skin, commenting on how different it is. What is going on with the remaining white skins? The suited man realizes these aren't just monsters but blood-sucking creatures. They store and transport blood. The girl is shocked at the sight of something happening above. A man in bandages grabs her and seems just as surprised. Outside, something huge opens up. Outside the building, a massive network of veins and organic structures are seen. The Pi continue to spread. The group stares up at the enormous Pi structure, wondering if it's finally dead. At least it's not attacking for now. The woman realizes the lights in the background form Morse code. The pink-haired woman is confused, asking about the code. An old man stares intensely, hoping his message gets through. The group is blocked by a white-skinned guardian. The suited man declares they'll push through by any means necessary. The monster clangs its limbs as if responding to his statement. The group breathes a sigh of relief. The noise from earlier lured it away. Looking closely, the woman states the nest is made from previous white skins. Of course, there are human bodies too. The nest of white skins is filled with reanimated corpses. Recombination, what is happening? The grotesque form of a large white skin is revealed. Its exposed organs pulsate with a sinister energy. The hero stabs the grotesque white skin with a spiraling sword, pulling it through, but a second pie is right behind. The suited man senses an uncomfortable feeling, realizing an enemy is behind him. "Oh no," he cries. The suited man launches a blast of blue energy towards the approaching pie. He tries to protect his friends. The woman with pink hair watches as someone is suddenly killed with a blade. The suited man is shocked. The pie are faster than him. In the background, someone struggles with a monstrous pie. Please bookmark, comment, and share. Donate for faster updates via Ko-fi. He recognizes the approaching foe, something far beyond a regular white skin abomination. The creature seems to be targeting the doctor, who is encased in a protective barrier. She wonders why it would aim for her. The enhanced monster takes a powerful step forward, readying its chilling energy blade. The girl tries to push him away, but his icy blade slashes through, leaving him bleeding. Even he is suppressed by its speed, if they keep going like this. The hero lies on the ground, defeated. "I'm going to die here as well as the doctor." The hero, defeated, asks if he will die again. The transformed girl looks over him, bloodied and broken, and offers to leave the doctor to save them both. Isn't this the survival instinct of living beings? The transformed hero feels the pain of humanity as he is reminded of what it means to be human. Human compassion existed even 10,000 years ago, leading to modern civilization. He has one thought during this fight. His resolve hardens and he prepares to use his power. The monster's icy armor shatters as it raises its chilling blade. She looks on with worried eyes. The monster's chilling blade clashes against his energy with a loud clang sound. She looks shocked, mumbling "you," as he declares, "I'll use this power." He declares he will use his power to protect everyone. White, it looks like white armor. He shouts that it is not white armor as the energy darkens and hardens. The transformed girl seems stunned by his power, but the monster isn't deterred. Still not fast enough. The transformed girl wonders what is happening. The monster has an almost unlimited supply of energy. She then asks the hero, "What is the nature of your power?" The monster's blade swings as he wonders how he shares power with the whitey. The monster's armored form glows with power, realizing it is gonna be a tough battle. The hero realizes that if he can accelerate things with his power, then, can I do the reverse? The monster suddenly appears in front of the girl. Crap, her eyes widen, seeing that the monster is moving so fast. The monster seems unharmed by the dark energy attack. "Phantom of Doom," it yells. The monster teleports behind her, ready to strike. "Step aside," she shouts, her blade coated in ominous energy. As the battle rages on, a screen shows the temperature rising back to 26 degrees. Looks like they succeeded. The people in the boiler room relax, feeling the rising temperature. Little does everyone know, a loud clang echoes as the watchman asks, "What's that?" The man overlooks a broken city as energy crackles around him. A creaking door reveals the return of the group. Old Joe is relieved they've returned, while a younger girl warns him to stay calm and restitch his wounds. Something moves in the heating duct. The group speculates if the figure has white skin armor. A rustling sound alerts the hero, who wonders what is making the noise. The noise is an old ventilation duct, and someone asks Old Joe to relax. He states the monster is just an illusion, as the real ones are on lower floors. Steel crashes and breaks. The hero is fighting. The hero notices cracking above him and exclaims that he was right. He wonders if they have all turned to blood nests. Maggie and her mother are coughing, confused about their situation. The little girl starts talking about a big white dog and a strange blonde uncle. Linmo is surprised when someone yells, "Linmo, you little brat." The hero is suddenly attacked from above. "I've missed you so much," it yells. The girl is shocked. The attacker shouts that he has walked all the way from Aberdeen. He claims to have walked across the continent. "So you fucker, who the fuck are you?" he yells as he's hit. The attacker is confused how Blackie Lynn is beating him. Even my dad never beat me up, he exclaims before the hero hits him back. The hero is puzzled by the man's words. The hero is tackled in a strange embrace. The small girl asks if they are good friends. Lin Mo is confused by all this. The hero muses about the butterfly effect but doesn't understand the monster's connection to his past. He decides to ask, "Hey, Miss Parasite." The hero states he has some questions to ask the parasite. She took the initiative to appear before, now I'm reaching out. The white armor monsters seem to be connected to a mom supplied by the blood nests. If we don't do anything, then the blood nest erodes here. Lin Mo's attacker looks puzzled and asks if Black Fury consumes a lot of heat. The parasite says Black Fury needs a lot of heat and Lin Mo may not be able to reactivate it. To survive, he needs heat. A man smirks saying he's got it. He asks if the doctor has extra plates. The man asks to borrow old Joe's crowbar. It's not just the blood nests or the mutated white armor monsters they must worry about. Lin Mo recalls a saying, "Human is iron, food is steel." A woman looks at what he is looking at and says, "It's the hydroponic tank again." She questions his desire to farm here. Someone states that laborers are a natural skill. The group notes that the number of people is increasing, food is a priority. The man struggles as he is choked. This empty tank isn't going to make food out of thin air, of course. Lin Mo forces the heavy door open. He notes that all the corpses on this floor are missing, even their blood. Something must be collecting them. Someone yells, "Yo, Blackie, where are you going alone?" Lin Mo looks back confused, "Why are you following me?" The woman demands to know why Lin Mo is silent as he exclaims that they are screwed. The monster declares it's over. The cover shows a man with a gun, hinting at a world in ruins. Under the bridge, Jerry speaks to a rat he calls Jerry about being in the same situation, homeless and relying on each other. Jerry's rat companion, Jerry, is offered to stay. It is still raining, he sees someone. The boy asks if he's here to make fun of him. The other asks about how many times his dad beats him. The boy is fed up, questioning where they could even run to in this awful place. He thinks it's lame to even try. The other one asks him where he learned that middle school line, asking him to come on now. He extends his hand with a sinister smile. "Run away with your best friend." The boy replies, calling him an idiot and thanking him. DeLong screams at the sight of the incoming white skin. It quickly strikes him and throws him to a corner where he chokes. The hero yells that he's not something as the ground cracks. From below, a massive hand bursts through. He struggles beneath the monster's grip, fearing his head will be crushed. Below, someone ignites a strange liquid, asking lit. Someone yells, "Hey, bug guy," as he throws a flaming bottle. He yells for the monster to let go of his brother. The flaming bottle explodes against the white skin, causing a blang sound as the monster is thrown to the ground. As the white skin explodes, DeLong falls into something slimy. He realizes with dread that it's a blood nest. DeLong struggles, grunting as the nest wraps around him. He curses his situation, sinking further into the blood nest. DeLong's inner monologue wonders if he will die here. Suddenly, he feels something touching him and hears rustling nearby. DeLong wonders where he is. He pauses, remembering something as the scene shows a chained-up white-haired figure. The hero yells stop as a chained-up white-haired figure emerges from the nest. The figure questions if she is still alive. The hero shivers, stepping out of the blood nest and into an unfamiliar, watery place. Again, what the hell is going on? Where is this place? The hero tells him, "You're the only idiot I can talk to." He's thanked for the compliment. The chained figure calls DeLong an annoying Aberdeen minion. DeLong points at himself, shocked. A large hand then reaches out to shake his hand, asking if they're friends. The hero is shocked to hear him call the chained figure his other self. He says it's his friend, not his. Suddenly, they both hear someone yelling, "Lin Mo," in an unknown location. DeLong, confused, wonders if it was all a dream. Someone asks if he's okay, saying he almost became nutrients for the blood nest. The hero, with a stern look, says to himself, "Forget it. This is not the time to think about it." They comment that the monster seems unaffected by flames. One of them offers him another drink. The other one cautions to wait as the white armor quickly burns and absorbs the heat from flames. It also has a self-healing ability, so a Molotov won't easily destroy it. The white armor doesn't even block the attack, resulting in a huge explosion. He prepares to use Black Fury, he can't leave him. The hero states that the white armor absorbs heat and looks familiar. In his blue state, he can absorb heat too, it works. The white armor yells out and shatters the ground with its immense power. Their stronghold has been attacked again by those monsters. May your spirit find rest. The leader laments the loss of men for the past month. Evading the white armors is proving futile. The man kneels in the snow. The leader behind him says, "It can't go on like this." "Old Joe, that's enough," Linmo states, surprising the leader. His eyes narrow. "I don't want to run away anymore." The strange monster's eyes glow with energy. "Looks like I was right." The monster states, absorbing energy from the surroundings, even heat from the flames. Energy crackles around the monster. A glow surrounds it, readying it for something. The monster's energy seems to focus on a single point. Down below, Kurt Corbin is told, "Listen up." The monster declares, "Whatever you knew about me before is irrelevant now." The monster states, "I am no longer the Linmo you knew. Dude, you look great. Where did you get that?" Linmo frames DeLong with his fingers. "This is exactly what you said." The suited man, seemingly annoyed, questions how it was done with the bottles. "Plenty." As the large Linmo towers over them, someone shouts, "What do we do? Should we run?" Then he responds, "Run." The man wonders aloud, questioning, "Should we run away again?" A post marks some kind of territory. Linmo's mechanical-looking form glows in response. Linmo states, "No, running away is so lame." Someone on the ground watches him. Linmo's transformation unleashes a powerful wave of raw, crackling energy. Linmo, fully transformed, stands tall, energy radiating around him. He declares, "Your turn." With the white armors closing in, a burst of flame explodes outward. A realization dawns. The white armor fat is flammable. Linmo's body is engulfed in blue flame, but it won't take long for it to return. Linmo declares, "So while it burns, I'll absorb the heat from the burning fat of the white armor." Linmo's body is radiating energy. "Use the flesh and blood of the enemy for my own use." A vortex of pure energy surrounds the transformed Linmo, ready to strike. As Linmo prepares to fight, someone exclaims, "Holy cow, is that a Linmo clutches his chest, reflecting, "Although he seems unreliable, it actually helped me." "You okay?" Linmo asks. DeLong is being strangely polite. Although he's sloppy, at least he's not an idiot. The monster roars, shaking the walls. Arriving at room 409, the hero exclaims, "I see." The hero wonders why they're getting farming supplies. He questions, "And that superpower, when did you get your powers?" An unknown voice demands, "God, why send me an idiot after rebirth?" Another's collar emits a static noise. "Shut up," he shouts. Someone pokes the collar, "Poke." The man with the collar cries out, "You're hurting me, I'm bleeding." A woman questions, What are you doing?" She remarks about finding an old radio station. They also find clay pellets. Gardening things too, next to flower nutrients. The hero is back at what looks like a clinic. He is still doubtful that there is a lab here. Is that really a doctor? The hero thinks it's suspicious. What Minion said might be true, Doc might not be a doctor. The hero wonders, just who are you? His companion is surprised, exclaiming, "Holy shit, it really opened." He questions, "What are you doing?" The man smacks his companion's head, warning, "Don't mess with other people's computers." He retorts, "I'm not an idiot." Wait. The man says, "Information." Angrily he says, "Get out, Minion." He corrects the other, "Don't call me Minion." As they leave the room he shouts, "Just leave and get some useful supplies." The man says, "Something on the computer, especially about Doc." He exclaims, "Found it." He wonders about the doctor. The hero analyzes the ID. He realizes he states to the Doc, "You're hiding a lot of things from me." The heavy door opens. A man with a bandaged head greets them, "You're back." A woman asks, "How did it go?" Another answers, "Of course everything went smoothly," but is cut off with, "Shut up."